The harsh truth, they fear women who do not think like them. You see, as hive-minded women, a woman that thinks too differently, it's like, nah.
This is a PSA for any of the ladies that have been seriously considering divorcing their husband. There's a lot of big conversations happening now that we have the results of the election, one of them being no-fault divorce. That is a type of divorce that allows you to end your marriage without needing to prove that anyone is at fault. Some lawmakers are looking to abolish that, which is going to make you divorcing your husband a lot harder.
So in other words, you're saying you enjoy the fact women can divorce their husbands very easily without having an actual issue, yeah? So you agree with the fact a woman could divorce a man just because she's bored, yeah? I hope you're focused and on your square. Now, obviously, she's complaining because of the amount of women that voted against her. She voted for Harris, but a large number of women, mostly white and other women, in large numbers voted for Trump, but she's not one of them. No, she's not one of them. So aside from a large number of black women, and if I'm correct, a decent number of Hispanic and Jewish women as well, she's on that side, but a large number of other white women, they're on the other side. Now again, this is what I find so interesting about this election. There have been many, obviously, results we've seen and we can learn many things from the results, obviously. But the shock in women, the harsh, dark, true reality that a lot of American women have seen is a lot of them do not think alike. A lot of them were not doing it for the same reasons. So they do stupid things like this and tell women, oh, divorce your husband because he voted for someone else. Okay.
So here's what that potential change could mean for you. You're going to have to prove that your husband did something wrong, which can be even more expensive, emotionally draining, and time consuming. Legal battles over fault can keep you in an endless and very expensive fight. Removing no-fault divorce could mean higher conflict in court, which is certainly not ideal for your kids.
Do they do it like that because they know a lot of women lie, BS, and are just irrational and would divorce a man for very dumb reasons? I'm just saying.
For you. Without no-fault divorce, you lose the freedom to decide when to leave your marriage. Your private decision could be left up to someone else's idea of what's right. So if you're unhappy in your marriage, now might be the time to act. Protect your right to choose what is best for you and your kids before it's taken away. Because the reasons that you want to leave your marriage are no one else's business.
Okay, wow, okay. Yeah. See, I'm not a marriage person. I don't promote marriage in this modern day and era. For a lot of people, yeah, it makes sense. For everybody, no. I don't think everyone should be getting married nowadays. And things like this are why. When you give a woman that much power over you, it's like, nah. In some way, you're automatically weakened as a man. You have to really hope that this woman is really gonna, honor the marriage and be faithful to you and not divorce you and F up your life. Potentially F up your life. Yeah. A lot of men never recovered from divorce. Nah, they're still ruined. Or they're not here anymore. They're not here. R.I.P. bro. R.I.P.
So I just saw like 10 seconds ago this girl who voted for Trump crying on screen. I'm talking about the fact that her grandma sent her a text and pretty much was like, fuck off. And her mom hasn't texted her back because she voted for Trump. And she's like crying and she's like, I can't believe this happened. I can't believe this is happening. Which is kind of crazy that you would be shocked. And me and some of my friends were talking about this discourse. I mean, this thing that's happening that Republicans are like so offended that like left-leaning people are cutting them off. And like at first it was kind of funny because it was like, why do you want to be friends with them so bad? Like, why are you so desperate to be their friend?
Interesting comment. Americans comment, and everyone else from all over the world comment as well. Give your perspectives as to what you think about what's going on in the US with the election. I think it'd be good for a lot of people to see our perspectives as to what we think as to what's going on in America as well, because it is fascinating. Again, Americans is fucking entertaining. However, the rift it has caused in so many Americans is interesting. Not just romantic relationships, families as well, friendships as well. Relationships on a whole, for a lot of people have been affected by this election. So comment, Americans and non-Americans, have you been affected by this directly? Has someone you know, known, whatever, stopped talking to you, stopped communicating with you, gone against you because of who you voted for? That's interesting. So what about all the women that have lost their female friends, their female girly pops? Because one set of girly pops, a large number of them, voted for Trump, where we have another crop of girly pops over here. On the left, girly pops voted for Harris. Yeah, it's almost as if someone's thrown a match into a beehive, into the hive, and it's burning down, but either side of the hive thinks the other side is burning down. Yeah, because even though we can see how hive-minded women are, It's split down the middle, isn't it? It's a lot of friction and a lot of nonsense as well.
Like, why are you throwing a fan? Like, it gives very much 5-year-old on the playground that's like, they don't want to play with me anymore. But like for some relationships, it really is more serious than that. And then we just started to discuss why that is even something. Like, why can't right-leaning people like understand why this is happening? And a lot of times they're saying like, well, nobody cut off their family members during Obama and Mitt Romney's presidency. That was a completely different type of president. That was a completely different type of election. It was completely different. And like I was talking to them that I was simply saying that like I think a lot of it is rooted in religion. And like for instance, they can pretty much like cut Trump's issues. They can literally like sweep it under the rug and pretend that it didn't happen. Like his allegations and the things that he's said and he's done, they pretty much are like, well, he said he was sorry and he's walking in the light of Jesus, so like he's forgiven. And I feel like they do that so often in their community with their people that they can't understand why other people with certain values and certain morals would not behave that exact same way.
Okay, interesting. Good points. Good points. Yeah. But however, since we're talking about women who think alike, think they think alike, but realize they don't, it's in a way they've realized a lot of them are in very small crops of hives. They're in very small different hives. They're hive-minded, yes, but they're still very separate in their hives, their own little nooks and crannies of hives. And as a man, it does prove and paint an interesting picture, because as men, a lot of us as men know and understand, which is obvious, women are very deceptive. Women lie. They talk a lot of stuff, they waffle a lot, and they lie a lot. So again, seeing so many of them realize how deceptive they are to each other, and as a man just seeing it like eating popcorn, like, some good popcorn. But yeah, what you realize as women, that even when your supposed rights and freedoms are on the line, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, does it? Because women will always lie for their own benefit, whatever they see their benefit as. Yeah, whatever they see their benefit as. So yeah, a lot of beef between women. I mean, they can fight if they want to. Not condoning that. You know, I'm not saying as men, you know, you want to see a bunch of women just kind of, you know, fighting in the streets like, yeah, go on, Sally, rough her up. No, seriously, that's ridiculous. But just beef between the modern women. It's interesting.
SA is something that I cannot forgive. That is not something that I can shove under the rug, and that's not something that I could be like, oh, well, you know, they asked for Jesus and to forgive them, and they've been walking in the light of God, so God forgives all. No, God might, but I don't. And I think that's where a lot of left-leaning people are sitting, and I think that's why right-leaning people are so offended and so, like, also confused and shocked. I don't know.
Does anyone know right now? Does anyone know? Again, I should not be enjoying this. I should not be enjoying watching girly pops go at each other, you know, because of this. But it is kind of fun.
Opinion. It's just, you're just being a bigot. So you know how there are those people who are breaking up with their boyfriends because their boyfriends voted for Trump and everybody's like, oh, well, it's just politics. You know, like, you know, people can have differing opinions. No. Yes, people can have different opinions, but not when it comes to human rights. Like, different opinions when it comes to, like, pizza toppings, or, like, what's your favorite ice cream flavor, or, like, what's your favorite color? Like, different opinions, yeah, that's completely valid. Like, you can't be racist or sexist or homophobic and just be like, oh, well, it's just my opinion. Like, no, it's not an opinion. It's just, you're just being a bigot. I just don't understand why this is so hard to conceptualize. Like, why can't people just not be racist? Like, okay,
easier said than done. Racism and bigotry is embedded in a lot of people. It's programmed into people. A lot of people have experienced enough from from their perspective, to warrant them being racist. But that in itself is an interesting divide. That's like a harsh truth a lot of women have realized about other women. Even the way black women have realized that white women weren't all together with them, and the white women that were with black women sort of feel embarrassed that it's like, what? You kind of let us down. But the white women that voted for Trump think all the other women are kind of crazy. It's like it's a beautiful mess, isn't it? Again, it's still very soon. Again, I admit I am excited just watching and observing all this stuff. I'm like, this is fascinating. Crunch some popcorn. Now, obviously, as men, it means a lot of women are going to make it difficult for some men to get, to get some sex now, to get some draws, because the women are fighting amongst themselves. Oh, look, the women are fighting amongst themselves. Yeah? They're not going to grease themselves up in some beef tallow and fight in the streets, are they? No. Creatively. I'm saying that creatively. They're not going to do it creatively. Whatever that means, I'm just trying to protect myself. No, that's not going to happen. So we get to see this discourse on so many levels. The racial aspect, the religious aspect, the I trusted and believed you were my girly pop friend aspect, the I realized we are not together aspect. Yeah? A lot of women fear women that don't think like them. Because a lot of women are so ironclad in their own beliefs that a woman that thinks too differently is like, well, what the F's wrong with you? What the hell is wrong with you? It's like, how could it make sense to either when both think they're fighting for their rights?
Like, why can't people just not be homophobic? Like, why can't people just not be sexist? Like, it's really not that hard. So the people who are breaking up with their partners because their partners voted for Trump, I think it's valid. Because it's not just about different opinions. It's not just about politics anymore. It's about a lot more.
My brother and his fiance uninvited me from their wedding, and now I have the wonderful pleasure of uninviting them from holiday activities because they voted for Donald Trump. I just want to know what you guys think of the whole entire situation, and if I'm being petty, if I'm being unreasonable. Just to give you guys a heads up, my brother gets free healthcare, my brother goes to school for free, and I helped him apply for all of those government programs. In addition to that, I gave my brother a free BMW SUV.
Hey.
He drives a free car. I pay for his car insurance, and I pay for his cell phone bill. In addition to that, he lives at home and completely relies on the financial assistance of my mother. So this boy has the audacity to not only vote for Donald Trump, who is against women like myself and my mother, but then he has the audacity, after my mother was crying all day yesterday, he comes home celebrating his victory and rubbing it in my mom's face.
Oh, what an awful brother. You know, she gave him a BMW. You know, I heard, I gave him a BMW, and it's like my mind kind of shut off. Like, you gave him a BMW, okay. This is my new sister. This is my new sister. You know, her brother, man, got a BMW and is for free. I'll lie to you and say I voted for Harris. You know, I'd vote for Harris too. If I didn't, I'd lie to her that I voted for Harris. My new sister giving me a BMW. Lovely woman. But jokes aside, look at the rift this is causing. This woman is abandoning her brother and his woman simply because they voted for Trump, you know? Abandoning her family members, leaving the door open for another brother to come in, me, you know, and just be her brother and get a BMW. You know, I'll be a good brother to this woman. I'll lie to her. I'll lie to her. Oh, yeah, sister, yeah. When I'm getting that BMW, you know? But look at what some people are losing. Man's probably going to lose a car. His sister and his mother, simply because of a vote. Waffling aside, is all of this worth it? Is it really worth it? To let go of people that you claim to love and care about so much, romantic relationships, friends and family relationships as well, to discard all of that simply because of a vote. Now on one hand, I am simplifying it. This really would affect people's lives. But one thing I will point out, I have noticed how it's the Harris people trying to cut people off more than the Trump people. Why is that?
Home celebrating his victory and rubbing it in my mom's face. Now, I understand we all have different opinions and political views, but you do not go to the home of a woman who financially supports you, rub it in her face. Go ahead, laugh about it with your friends, laugh about it with your unemployed fiance. It has now been over a month that I cut my brother off and I no longer answer his phone calls because the only reason he called me anyway was when he needed money. And I know that's really hard to do, and I know
you gave him money too. Again, I don't agree with you cutting him off. I think it's a bit extreme, but come on, your sister venting on the internet. Her old brother, you know, she was just giving him cars and money, so he didn't appreciate her. I do. Come on, new sister. Don't say anything bad to my new sister, yeah?
right now a lot of people are going to have some very uncomfortable Thanksgivings and Christmases, but at the end of the day, I really encourage you all to protect your peace. I'm not saying that you need to cut out every single person in your life that doesn't agree with you politically. But if after this election, someone is literally taunting you, laughing at your face, and disrespecting you, regardless of what political person doesn't need to be in your life.
Sister, brother, friend, mother, father, lover, abandoned because of a vote. But a woman that thinks too differently to another woman or women is the enemy? Is she? Have a nice day.